The water of the Lagos lagoon is usually full of life, with children splashing in the shallows and fishermen paddling their canoes to bring home the day's catch. But today, Sunday, February 1, 2026, the scene at Makoko is very different and very painful to look at. Instead of the usual sounds of a busy community, there is a heavy silence, broken only by the sound of waves hitting the broken wood that used to be people's homes. For many weeks now, thousands of people who called this waterfront home have seen their lives turned upside down. The houses they built with their own hands, the schools where their children learned, and the places where they smoked their fish are all gone. The trouble began just a few days before Christmas last year. While many families were preparing for the holidays, heavy machines called amphibious excavators arrived on the water. These machines, escorted by armed police, started tearing down the wooden houses built on stilts. At first, the government said they were only clearing houses that were too close to the big high-tension power lines for safety. They told people to move 30 meters away, and many residents tried to follow the rules. But the clearing did not stop there. It grew to 100 meters and then even further. Now, as we enter the first day of February, more than 3,000 homes have been flattened, leaving tens of thousands of people with nowhere to go. Imagine being a father or a mother and watching everything you own sink into the dark water of the lagoon. One man, named Augustine, a fisherman with 8 children, tried to save what he could. He was pulling off his roofing sheets to keep them for later, but the machines were too fast. He said the police used tear gas to move people away, and he had to run with his pregnant wife to find safety. When he came back, his house was gone, and even his fishing nets, which he uses to feed his family, had been destroyed. This is the story of so many people in Makoko today. They are not just losing their houses, they are losing the way they make a living. If you find this report helpful and want to stay updated on what is happening in our communities, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us tell the stories that matter to everyday people. Today, if you visit the edges of the lagoon, you will see something very sad. Many families are now living entirely on their small wooden canoes. They eat there, they sleep there, and they try to keep their children dry when it rains. There are reports of nursing mothers holding their tiny babies in these boats with no clean water or proper food. Doctors are very worried about the health of these children. Many babies are missing their important vaccinations because their families are constantly moving to avoid being caught by the authorities. Pregnant women are also suffering, with many of them becoming weak and sick because they are sleeping in the open air and don't have enough to eat. The government says these demolitions are necessary. They say it is too dangerous for people to live under high-voltage electricity wires because they could get electrocuted or face long-term health problems. They also say they want to make Lagos a modern city with better living standards. But for the people of Makoko, these words do not provide a roof over their heads. They ask a very simple question. If you want us to leave for our safety, where should we go? Right now, there is no plan to move them to a new place and no money being given to help them start over. This has led to a lot of anger and sadness. Just a few days ago, hundreds of people took to the streets to protest. They carried signs asking the government to have mercy and to follow the law. Many residents and lawyers say that the government did not give enough notice before the bulldozers arrived. They believe the land is being cleared not just for safety, but to build expensive new houses for the rich, leaving the poor with nothing. The police have used force to stop these protests, and some people have even been arrested. The pain is not just physical, it is also in the mind. Doctors who study mental health say that many people in Makoko are now facing deep depression. When an older person who has lived in one spot for 50 or 60 years suddenly sees their home destroyed in a single afternoon, the shock is too much to bear. There are reports of people having suicidal thoughts because they feel they have failed their families and have no future left. A home is more than just wood and nails. It is where your memories are and where you feel safe. Without that safety, many are feeling completely lost. If you are just joining us, please remember to subscribe so you don't miss our next update. We are following this story closely to see if the government will finally listen to the cries of the people. The situation in Makoko is now a major crisis. Some people say that at least 6 people, including small children, have died since the demolition started, partly because of the tear gas and the harsh conditions of living on the water without shelter. While the government says they are not aware of these deaths, the families who are mourning know the truth. They are calling for an investigation to find out why such force was used against people who are just trying to save their belongings. As we look at the lagoon today, the water is filled with floating pieces of wood, broken chairs, and torn fishing nets. It is a graveyard of a community that has existed for over 100 years. Makoko is one of the oldest parts of Lagos, and the people there have a very special way of life, living in harmony with the water. Now that history is being wiped away. Many are wondering if there is still a place for the poor in the future of Lagos. The people of Makoko are not asking for riches, they are asking for a chance to live in peace and for the government to treat them with dignity. They need a plan, a place where they can rebuild their lives and where their children can go back to school. As the sun sets on the lagoon this Sunday, thousands of people are preparing to spend another night on their boats, rocking on the water, wondering what tomorrow will bring. We will continue to watch and report on their struggle,